All right, so let's get this started with this thing. So obviously, thank you again for saying yes and agreeing to doing a little interview. I guess that's what Andrew calls it. Um, but I just wanted to kind of like talk about what I wanted you to talk about your whole bodybuilding. Your passion for it and your experience for it. So obviously, you're Erik Rubio, and I'm Samantha Gonzalez Rodriguez with Sun Out Workout, and I just want to put this out for other people to see too.
Okay.
So I did see the questions ahead of time, but I want you just to kind of like let me know what bodybuilding meant to you or means to you, I guess.
Okay. I feel like, as far as for me, bodybuilding for me is really being disciplined and being able to take your body from different extremes, whether it be anything, trying to get as big as I possibly can, or as to getting as shredded as I possibly can. So I think it's what it really, really means to me is if you set your mind to something with some sort of goal, with enough discipline, putting in your time, it can really like change, not only your health, but your physical appearance as well. So for me, I've always admired that. I've like, even from a young age, watching TV and all these movies with my dad, was being able to see the same actor in one movie completely transform, and look like, Sylvester Stallone doing Rambo, like it's just crazy.
Yeah,
So that's what bodybuilding means to me.
that's very impressive how people can just switch from like what's it? I think that actor Christian Bale, is that him? He goes from
Yeah.
he's obviously not a
Real
bodybuilder.
fat.
Yeah, but he went everywhere, like
Yeah.
all sorts of things. So that's crazy. But so you're saying movies? Was that the reason why you got started with bodybuilding? Because of movies
So
and
that's how it started, with the movies and seeing the actors completely transform, and then kind of branching out to different actors that I felt like I admired in a sense. So that being Stallone, Arnold, and then with time I started doing a little bit more research. All this internet stuff came out. I started googling it, and that's where I really saw um, bodybuilding competitions. So that's for me how I kind of slowly got introduced to it. um then again, also my dad always was a very big fan of Arnold too, and he showed me all his movies, from Terminator to him doing the Barbarian, and all that kind of stuff. So for me, that's how I got into the sport and really admiring bodybuilding, and how seeing these crazy transformations of from one moment to the next. It's to me, it's mind blowing. It's really mind blowing.
so that's how you started. That's cool. I mean, that's kind of like a home thing. You get me? Like you start off. That's like me with soccer. For me, it was like I always watched it, and I was always like, oh my god, look how they're running everywhere, and like how they're able to do these things. I want to do that too. You get me? And like I want to be amazing at it, and I'm gonna put myself to it. Even when like people tell you no, you shouldn't do that. Have you had that in your career? Like, have you had people tell you don't do bodybuilding?
Everyone I know tells me not to do bodybuilding.
And why is that? Why do you think they tell you not to?
So if you want me to be honest, I feel bodybuilding. Yeah, as you know, I'm very transparent. So bodybuilding for me has a very I want to say negative. Already saying it has like a negative connotation. People automatically get scared. Red flag goes up. Um, it doesn't get the light that I feel like it should. And now, just recently, bodybuilding is even branching out to a whole bunch of different kind of like groups within bodybuilding. So now it's not only about taking your body and looking crazy. It's also they're doing body transformations. People who are disabled, who are still able to, who have a missing arm, are able to completely transform their body. So I feel now it's going to kind of be introduced to this day and era. It's going to be able to show you how you're able to, with enough discipline, with enough willpower, you can overcome a whole bunch of obstacles, whatever your obstacles may be, and completely transform your body. Now, going to the whole idea of steroids, that's another scare that people have because of bodybuilding. A lot of people think, and I'm completely against, how do I say it? As far as steroids goes, I know this wasn't the real question, but I'll go a little bit more into it. As far as steroids goes, I feel it's just like anything. Too much of anything is bad for you. Let's face it. And I'm in the sport itself. If you want to look a certain way, you do have to take it. Now, I'm not saying anyone should be able to take it. I think you have to realistically think like, hey, do I want to try to make something out of this? Do I want to be able to take my body, with just like anything in life, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. So am I willing to risk my body, and possibly my health if I, misuse something, and that's where I feel like a lot of people, they don't really know how to stop. And a lot of people can't, from one moment to the next, just stop. They get, whether it's money hungry or the fame, they want more, just like anyone, they want more. And then that's where it really starts, your health starts deteriorating. You can have any complications with kidneys, it can get real bad,
That took a turn, but that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it did.
Like they're they kind of go against it, I guess. As long as, like you said, everything in moderation, they do it right for the most part. So, okay, so we went about that. You explained a little bit with how you got started and everything. Okay, and you mentioned seeing competitions. How did you get into your first competition?
So it actually started when I was working in my last job, which was in Baptist, West Kendall. And I was introduced to a nurse. I was just talking about, I love bodybuilding and I want to be able to take it to the next level. It's just, to me, it's crazy. I feel like within myself, and I know how I am, I'm a competitive person, but not necessarily with everyone else, with myself. I always want to try to be better. I always wanted to be able to take my body to the next level. And, I was just there talking with a few of my friends, and the nurse introduced himself. He's like, hey, my name's, Jose. And he introduced me to my first coach if I would decide to get into the sport. So I decided to swing by and just talk. I could talk for hours. So I talked to at the time he owned the supplement shop and did a little training on the back. And I talked to him like, I've watched bodybuilding, I know a lot of these top guys, but I want to do it more in a kind of like a local, like where I don't want to say like normal people, because I feel like we're all normal, but the lower level and kind of the beginners in a sense. I want to compete in that level. How can I? And he showed me videos, showed me the sport, the different sites to see and Instagram posts of like, how I can get a little bit more in-depth YouTube videos, all that stuff. I watched it, admired it. He showed me, and then that's when I was like, you know what? I want to take this to the next level. I want to step in. Like, what do I got to do to be able to get there? And that's how I was, introduced to it.
And then what was your first competition? Like, when was it? Well,
so off the top of my head, it was about, I would say 4 years ago. I was like 21, around 21 was my first, or 2021. That was my first competition. I did 2 shows. I did the Miami. It was kind of like to get my feet wet, get into, see what it is to step on stage, because it's different when you talk a lot of game and, or you prepare yourself, and there's nothing like when you're being in front of the lights in front of everyone. It literally, everything you think or you practice or you did, it's more of like, it goes through your head, and you're just like, you're literally there on stage in front of everyone, vulnerable, and I you want to get those jitters out of the way as well. You want to see if you're able to talk to people, or, well, not talk, but like, show face to everyone and act, in a professional light, So I did the Miami, and then after that was a way harder competition, and that's where I got introduced to some big boys there. And big boys to where the level I'm at right now. And it was the Southern States. And seeing a even bigger auditorium and stepping in front of the lights, I don't know, it fueled me. And those were my first 2 competitions. And when I first did it, I wanted to see if not only would I feel comfortable, can I follow the regimen, the diet, the discipline, all the stuff leading up to the show, with enough time, because it all comes down to time as well. After I did those first 2 shows, I wanted to give my body some time to relax. I wanted to fall in love with training, all over again, because it's different to just train for fun. And, you could change your body, but it's nothing like training for a competition. It's like you gotta have like that tunnel vision. You got like, there's nothing. You don't look at anything else. You're just straight into it, nothing else matters. And I really started noticing I wanted to take my body a little bit further. I wanted to add some more muscle, some more density to my body. And that's when I did the other two shows. They were in Naples. It placed pretty well. Did I like how I necessarily looked? It was a fuller size, not as conditioned as I know I can be.
You got more coming up?
That's gonna. Huh?
To be,
look,
you keep
I'll give
a little down low.
a little on the down low. No one.
All right.
It'll only be seen here. This is how, I don't know if you can see on my phone.
Yeah, there you go, a little bit.
Little. That's how, there you go.
That's right now?
Just put that in. Yep. So I guess you could say I'm getting ready. Like I literally, my goal is to enjoy this diet that I've been doing, because I've been dieting. I'm not gonna lie, I've lost about 15, 20 pounds. So yeah.
15?
So
for a lot, but
yeah. For me, hey, I've lost anywhere between 60 to 80 before my other competitions. I went from 220 to 160, around there. So
how long did it take you to get there from 220 to?
That I did a 4-month diet, 16 weeks. And I still don't think that, like I said, I probably should have lost another 10 pounds, give or take.
Was that around the time when we met, or before, or while you were prepping for that one?
I was prepping for that one, yes.
I remember there was a time that you were just eating everything, and then when I came back down from New York, you were eating nothing. Pretty much.
Yeah.
You were stacking up on Tic Tacs.
Yep. Hey, man, you're giving away my secrets. That's for those sweet tooth. You're giving away my secrets. Anyone here can look it up. Look it up. Look at the calories and everything. There's nothing. You can't get nothing on it. I even found out the other day that the whole thing is 5 calories. It's a win in my book.
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying I met you going into it, and then when I came back down from New York, I saw you going pretty much,
Just know I'm still surviving off of Tic Tacs. So.
All right. I got it.
If I had it here, I'd show you.
Right? Tic Tacs?
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned before, let's get back to this. You mentioned coaches. So did you need, or do you need a coach for like everything pretty much? Like, do you need one for nutrition or like proposing, or is that just one general coach, or do you do it yourself kind of thing?
Okay, so when I got into bodybuilding, I thought I knew how to work out. I thought I knew how to diet. I thought, I had a good idea. Apparently I don't want to say I was completely wrong, but there was a big, like a 180, like dieting for a show, prepping for a show, for a competition. I mean, it is completely different. It's completely different. Amount of water matters. The amount of sodium something has matters. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, I mean, down to the exact amount is what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, of course, if you're on a regular, you're dieting, you don't want to have a high sodium diet, but I'm talking about we literally calculate every single thing. So what was the question again? I forgot. I'm not gonna lie.
Coaches.
Oh, coaches. So depending on, for me, the way I did it was I got a coach that he provided me not only with a diet, but my supplementation and checking up with me every week to see how I looked. Okay. So I do know that there are a few people that they like to go the route of, they have a nutrition, a diet, or like a dietitian, or they have like someone who's providing them the whole nutritional facts, everything. They literally even make their food for them. And then there's another guy that just checks up on how their body looks, and then there's another guy who helps them with the supplements. Mm-hmm. For me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those kind of people that I can kind of be a little lazy, as much as bad as that sounds to be like in the fitness game or whatever, to be a little lazy. I wanted to have one guy do it all for me, and that's what I did. Some guy that I saw had a lot. Yeah, one person. There's literally one guy, and that's it. It was good enough for me. He showed me everything. He showed me the people that he's taken, so experience, and he showed me all the photos, and I was like, you seem like you know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about. Let's see if it works. And I will say though, to me, I feel like not everyone can not only be a coach, but not everyone can be your coach as well. I think that there's a lot of communication, and you see a coach, he kind of feeds off of you. So if you're excited about it or, stuff like that, he should be just as excited for you as well,
Yeah, kind of. You guys have to kind of like bounce it off of each other.
Correct. Like
Right?
kind of connect, like in a sense.
Yeah, the bond. I mean, the guy's pretty much putting your body through the whole thing, so you're just doing the work yourself, but he's giving it to you, kind of.
Correct.
So that makes
So,
sense. You would need that.
yeah.
So I know we mentioned that you did a 4 month pretty much breakdown that you went from 220 to 100 something. Is that how that 16 weeks, is that what normally takes you to like to do the cutting? Or do you usually do a little longer? Would you do a little longer period or would you not?
So to give you an idea,
Mm.
when COVID happened, I started dieting. We're about to hit a year now, and I'm still on that diet.
Oh, wow.
So as far as the question goes of
It doesn't.
like what's the longest diet that I've done, it's this one right now that I'm currently on. And for different reasons, with everything that's going on with COVID, it kind of pushes back shows.
Yeah.
I had my own health issues I was going through as well, even through the prep, so I was trying to get, trying to heal, but like, kind of maintain where I was at. But yeah, and for me, I feel like a good diet should be anywhere between 3 to 4 months in the sense to get ready for a competition. Now, of course,
considered on season, right?
Correct. Usually anywhere. I mean, and I know people that they diet for a whole year. I'm getting ready to hit a year. I know people that do it because they want to. So the thing is, not only when you diet, you want to do several shows. You know what I'm saying? So you might compete 1 month and then take a 2 or 3 month like little break because it can be financially it can be very pricey to compete. And then they compete in 3 or 4 months from now in another show. So they pretty much kind of like they hold that diet throughout the whole year. Which is kind of what I'm doing now, to be honest. And this diet, by far, has been the best diet I've done, honestly. Not even exaggerate.
I mean, it's been almost a year, so I'd hope so.
Yeah. I mean, I made it this far, so.
Yeah, right? There's no going back now. So, okay, so on season, off season. So when you're off season, it's pretty much you're bulking, right? Is that what
Correct.
it is? Okay, so how would a day in the bulking season, I guess, look like to you? How would you break down? Like a day, just one. Calorie-wise,
workout-wise? Eating or?
Both. You can start off with either one.
Okay, so in a bulking, yeah, it's
all right, hold
my
on.
facial expression. Yeah. I mean, you can see it off my face. I'm not even gonna lie. Bulking, it's just so much more. It's crazy. Like the intensity of your training, the heavier you're lifting. For me, like and eating, I mean, it's just I never thought I can eat so much. Then I figured out when I bulk, I mean, I'm eating like crazy. So like normally for me when I'm on off season, I'm eating anywhere between 6 to 8 meals in a day. I'll sometimes try to push down a ninth every now and then, with the extra amount of calories and protein and all that stuff. I'm usually down with like a shake at the end of the night, to be honest. And sometimes I get 2 in the morning. And then training is anywhere between, I would say, an hour and 20 to an hour and 40 for me.
And how often do you train a week when you're bulking? Does it change or?
So I really like the gym. So for me to miss a gym, I mean, yeah, honestly, everyone does it in their own way. And I understand. I feel like another part of the sport is really listening to your body and knowing when it wants to take a break or take a rest. So for me, I usually only try to take like 1 day off in a week. And that's off season, on season. That's when I'm getting ready to compete. I do it all the time.
That makes sense. I mean, I love working out. I obviously couldn't work out because, I mean, the whole baby thing. And
well, it was kind of a workout. I mean,
that 40-pound belly. It was. I think I stopped working out maybe at like 5 months pregnancy, and that was because I got too big too quick.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's when I got back from Miami for my graduation, and I blew up. Like I couldn't do anything, and I was like, what the heck? So then obviously I had to stop. I would go on walks and stuff, but I like lifting too. I like doing certain, like I obviously love squatting and doing deadlifts, and I even enjoy bench pressing and stuff like that, but I obviously need someone to help me out. But yeah, so I stopped. This is the longest I've taken a break from exercising. And I obviously started up again maybe like 3 months ago when we started building up our little gym. And I'm so happy. I'm here like, bro, right now
I saw your transformation. Great transformation.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. I was like, all right, we got it. I'm getting it done. And then Andrew's on the boat too. He's like, what? You can't look like that and me look like this? So he's like jumping on now. And I'm like, yeah, well, we got our stuff. So there's no stopping. But yeah, so you said all that stuff regarding the bulking. What's the most calories you've eaten in a day? What would you say?
Honestly,
At that point, or no?
it's just, I know if I'm eating anywhere less than 5,500 to 6,000 calories, I'm probably not gonna gain weight. So I know for sure anywhere when I'm on off season, I'm eating anywhere between 5,000 something and plus, like, yeah, whatever I can get in, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I remember that part when we worked together. You would just try to get as much in as possible.
Yep.
Okay, and what about supplements? Do you need specific supplements when you're bulking versus when you're cutting?
So when I'm bulking, the protein that I get is usually that I get the higher calorie ones. Mm-hmm. That's usually like obviously when I'm bulking. And then when I'm dieting, when I'm getting ready for a competition, I usually have like the wheys and the isolates. So it's obviously going to be different in calories, mm-hmm. and the amount of protein that I'm having when I'm in off season is higher compared to when I'm cutting as well. So I mean,
that's on what you're doing, I guess.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so now take me to a day of the dieting, I guess, because I keep calling it cutting, but you're saying dieting. So
yeah,
with dieting.
What's my day like? Okay.
Yeah.
It's very sad. No.
I mean, I believe that if you're,
a lot of, it's very repetitive, and the calories is going to be a lot less. The protein's going to be depending, anywhere between. I don't usually count the exact amount, but I usually do 6 meals, 6, sometimes 7 if I'm still up late, but it's just high in protein and no carbs. And then maybe veggies or like a salad. My diet is the moment I wake up. So I crap load of egg whites like crazy. Like I'm down, and sometimes I don't even eat it. I just down it. Goes down the same way. And then my lunch is chicken breast. I usually have anywhere 8 to 10. Then another 2 hours later, another chicken breast. Very sad. I'm telling you, these meals are just very repetitive. And then I also have fish, like for dinner and stuff.
But I mean, I guess you love the sport, so it's worth it at the end.
Yeah, correct. And I'm not gonna lie though, what's even better is, it's fun being able to eat all those snacks all the time, whatever. Hold yourself off, diet, and then once you get ready for a competition, I promise you that nothing tastes sweeter. Like nothing. Well,
I mean, I guess it's different. But for me, I had to hold off on a lot of sweets because the girls are lactose intolerant kind of thing. So yeah,
how are they lactose intolerant if you breastfeed them? How does that work?
I had to stop eating anything that was milk. I had to completely cut off milk, and I had to cut off soy too. So I was like, I don't know. So I couldn't have chocolate, ice cream, nothing. And I was like, oh my God, I'm hungry from breastfeeding, because you do get hungry and all that stuff. And then when I finished breastfeeding, because I stopped maybe like 2 months ago, because they're crazy. These girls, like I would have had to call for help because they're flipping over all over the place. So I stopped, and then I had like my first ice cream, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess, but I am happy to have the option to have it. You get me? Like, okay, I'll be able to have a chocolate bar now without worrying that the girls are gonna throw up on me because I had it. So that's a plus. But I mean, back to what you were saying, for you, it must be amazing because you're actually, I guess forcing yourself to eat right and the same thing very plainly. I'm eating still a lot, but not the sweets and stuff.
Of course.
But I mean, it's different and the same in each and every way. Okay, so you mentioned that. What is the lowest amount of calories that you would have during your dieting?
So from any diet that I've done, probably anywhere between 1,400 to 1,600, which is pretty low.
Yeah, that's like mine. That's what I eat, and that's just normal for me.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, and imagine me.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
And how crazy I get. Like, I'm pounding on water, eating my little Tic Tacs. Like,
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so from that, which of the two would you say, like during the bulking or the dieting, which was more emotionally and mentally draining?
More emotionally and mentally draining.
If you would say draining, or more like it impacts you, I guess.
Yeah.
Or do they impact you?
No, they do. They do. I'm just trying to honestly, I feel like the off season is more mentally draining. If you want
Why?
to honestly, it's just because the off season is like I like food. I like food a lot. And it's just like how much you have to eat to be able to gain weight and gain muscle in the sense as well. And how much heavy, like I mean crazy, like heavy an amount of reps you're doing. It's just crazy to like compare to when you're in, getting ready to compete. So for me, mentally draining, it would definitely have to be the off season. Like I honestly, there were even times I'm laying in bed and I feel like I'm suffocating. Like, yeah, like, or I feel like I needed a nap. You know, it's rough. It's rough. I'm not gonna lie. Off season,
Makes you kind of
credit,
hate food.
huh?
Makes you hate food, or makes you?
Yeah, you get tired of it. You get tired. You get tired of it. You get real tired of it. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, okay, so we didn't talk about this part. When you're dieting, how are your workouts then?
So when
About
I
an hour?
diet,
I know that you said that you go at least with 1 day of break during the week, but is it different, like the how heavy you go or how long you go in the workout during the day?
so as far as dieting, obviously more cardio is included.
Mhm.
And then as far as the training goes, um, I still do like I want to say weight that I feel I'm comfortable with,
Mhm.
but I really try to get a squeeze out of the muscle, and I try to really, really, really get a slow negative and try to be as explosive as I can, but with a good amount of weight and a good amount of reps as well. So I really get like a real burn to it. I
Mhm.
want to say more in off season, my training is more of like, I'm trying to pound down as heavy of weight as I can. Obviously still have good form,
Yeah,
but just get it like I don't want to say get it from point A to point B because I do try to get somewhat of a negative. But even then, when you're getting so heavy, like in the weight, it's very hard. It's more like you're going for a pump. Like
yeah,
does that
that's
make
what
sense?
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That you're aiming for that pump when you're bulking, and then when you're dieting, you're aiming for more like the definition, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Squeezing the muscle, really getting the negative. I'm talking about like an orange.
Yeah,
Yeah, squeezing every ounce out. Like yeah, literally like that.
that makes sense. Okay, so then what happens when you're not doing any of those? No off season or on season? Is there a time when
Um,
you don't do anything?
No, I'm always training, and I'm always training. Now, are there times where I'm just not even worried about competing like on and off season? There are times that I'm just working out to have fun. Yeah, I do that. I do that. I try to give myself a little bit of time to get away. I don't want to say get away from the sports because I still admire it and I still look up, on my social media and all that stuff. I still stay up to date with everything, but I kind of take myself out of it, and I focus more on things that I have, like for example, school, trying to finish off. Want to get a house with my wife, and stuff like that. So I try to give a lot more of my energy and my time to those kind of things. And I kind of enjoy working out to work out. I take care of business and then I go and take care and do my day.
Okay, so you still have a life at the end of it.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, even though, even if I'm saying that, you have a life during it too, because
Correct.
it's what you like to do and it's what you love to do. So I get that. Okay, so what is your end goal with bodybuilding? Do you have an end goal? Or there's
Um,
one end goal and you're just shooting, keep going. You're going to keep going.
I want to keep going. I want to see how far I can take myself.
Okay.
With remaining healthy, not letting it affect my family, my marriage, and any other financial obligations or whatever I get myself into, like a house and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
that's how far I want to keep going. I want to see how far I can take myself
Mhm.
without risking too much. Like I said, like my family members, and my own health as well. So that's my goal. To
Like
see it.
a personal goal, you get me?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, and what advice would you give someone that wants to start bodybuilding? Just like you had gone to someone and they told you all these things and they showed you all these things. What if someone came to you?
My advice would probably be make sure you really know your body, because a lot of people do think they know their body and they don't. You gotta You got to work out and see if you have the passion, you have the drive to be able to try a little diet out, try to set yourself some goals. And then if you see like it's something you really, really like, pursue someone that has a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, and they're willing to share that, and not do it more because, in the sport, it's, you have a lot of people, a lot of coaches or gurus that think they know what they're doing, and they just want your money. Try to find someone that will give you, not only them as a coach, yeah, their passion, their heart, they give you that as well. So that would be my advice. Try to search for someone like that.
You're saying you have to know your body. What do you mean by that?
So everyone has I want to say, they're able to take their body to different levels of extreme. Yeah. I feel like someone really has to know what their extreme is. So dieting, can they handle a 4-month diet?
A year-long diet?
Yeah. Are they willing to take all that time off? Are they willing to put countless of hours in the gym? And I'm talking about even days that you don't feel well, you have to go, or there might be celebrations or events, and you're going to have to train and make sure, try to get that all out of the way and sacrifice some of that time as well. These are things that I feel like if you're going to be an aspiring, or like, you want to get into the sport or try to compete a few times, there are going to be a lot of sacrifices you're going to have to make. A lot of sacrifices.
It makes sense. You're committing a lot of your time to it. So
a lot of people don't understand bodybuilding is something that's 24 hours. You're literally transforming your body. So everything you do within those 24 hours is very crucial. Very crucial. As much as sleep, eating, obviously, how much water you're pounding down, making sure you're training, you're being very consistent. A lot of things go into it. It's 24 hours. It's very hard.
I mean, it's a full-time job.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Even more than a full-time job, because you don't work 24 hours. But it makes sense. Is there anything else you want to say about bodybuilding?
Anything else I want to say about bodybuilding?
Well, maybe we didn't cover, or
no, I just I hope I was able to be as informative, and give some knowledge to some people. And as far as bodybuilding goes, for me, I see it not only being able to take your body to like from one extreme to another, but I think there's also an art to it too. And I think there should also be a lot of help and more positive light should be shown upon bodybuilding, because it's not as bad as people make it seem.
I think it's cool. I mean, I like to see how people go from one point to another. Like, I remember when you showed me one picture, and that was when you, I think, finished your off season. And then when I was like, wow, okay. And then you showed me how you got to, like, when you were going to compete. I was like, holy crap. Like, that's crazy and impressive, because you dedicate your time, and your time, your money, as you were saying too, and just your whole like vibe to it. You're constantly doing it, and you're working to build a better, I guess, physique, and a better like a body in general. But wait, okay, so I mentioned physique. I know there's different competitions. I know people do, I don't know the names, and I'm not going to try to say the names of them. But I know that there's different kinds. What are they? I know we didn't talk about this, so.
Okay, so as far as for the guys go, there's men's physique, there's classic physique, and then there's bodybuilding. Okay. And then you can kind of even dip a little bit more. So from going to classic bodybuilding, a lot of bodybuilders, what they'll do is, because sometimes they'll start off like men's physique, and they have a very developed upper body, but their legs are slacking. So guys guys who go into men's physique may jump into that. It's kind of more of like a pretty boy in the sense, or your typical like beach kind of guy in the sense, shredded guy. And then classic physique is more like the old school era.
Okay.
And then that's more so than Arnold, Tom Platz, it's that kind of, and even further than that, it's Sergio Oliva, and all that kind of stuff. That's classic physique. And then in between classic physique and bodybuilding, now they're doing 212. So basically what it is you weigh 212 pounds. And then open bodybuilding is the weight you can be 500 pounds if you look good, and symmetry's there, fullness, everything. Like, you got the package, you got it, So
those are the different categories. Because I know I have heard of them, and you have spoken to me about them before too. But I obviously don't remember the different kinds of them. And that's cool that they have like those different categories. It helps other people go into what they prefer too. So.
And the crazy thing now is now they're doing a whole bunch, like I said, they're doing transformation, you know, so people who are like are really really overweight and they want to like, you know, get healthy, and they show how much weight they've lost in their journey. They also have, and I mean it's getting crazy. It's like they also have like, for, you know, if they have strongman competition, that's like another different,
Oh,
you
I've
know,
heard
it's
that one. Yeah.
exactly. So I mean it's like I said, it's I feel like it's kind of being brought to the public a lot more, and hopefully it shines a little bit more light in the sport.
I was actually wondering about that now that you mentioned like the new different kinds. I was wondering because obviously women do compete, and then but what happens to the women that have the babies and then they have all that extra skin? Do they also compete? Is there a different, because they obviously don't look the same as what they did before, and
Correct.
they can still lean out, but they won't lean as much as they would have before. So I was just wondering, there's like, do you know if there's a different category for them or?
That's what I was referring to. They have like transformation ones. I'm not really like that. They have like fitness ones that it's like they're athletic looking. They do backflips and do all these kind of things and tricks. So like they it's not only about like, you know, just bodybuilding or bikini for, you know, women as well. Like the girls who want to do bikini and have like the slim, you know, waist or whatever and all that kind of stuff. Or women bodybuilding who want to get like, you know, huge, you know, and change their body completely. They also have transformation, like I said. They have fitness. They have a lot of them. So like, you know, you take your body from one extreme, you know, in the sense being pregnant and losing all the weight and slimming down. You know, they have nowadays, and they're creating a lot more shows, you know.
That's crazy. That's cool. I had actually looked that up not too long ago because I was obviously wondering for myself. I'm not planning on competing. I don't think I would, just because I love the passion that you have for it, and I love the passion that other people have for it, but I can't give up stuff. Like I can't. My thing right now is obviously my girls and like my family and everything. So I wouldn't be able to commit 100%. And when I do something, I'm going to do it 100% and more. So that's obviously why I wouldn't do it. But like I said, I looked it up because I was like, is it possible? Because I have all this extra skin too that was left over from having a 45-pound belly, and and then to slimming down and then having the split my abs split, and then trying to bring that in together too. So it was always like, is it possible? And I actually found someone who did compete, and I don't know if she placed. I think she might have placed. I have to find out. I'll find out. I'll let you know later on. But she placed, and I was actually impressed because she had twins and she had the extra skin, and I was like, okay, cool. So that's when I was like, all right, you know what? If she can do it, maybe in the future, but right now I can slim down too and not look bad.
Of course, and be healthy, you know.
Exactly, that's the goal. You know, obviously for me it's eat right, stay fit, stay healthy kind of thing, but it's cool. All right, I mean, Eric, you answered all the questions I had. You sure you don't have anything else to say? You're good. You spoke perfectly about the sport, and I appreciate it. And I hope that whoever sees this actually gets from it. I know Robert's gonna love watching this. He's gonna be like, all right, where's my little notepad? And then so is Andrew. Andrew gave me a whole list of questions to ask you. I'm like, all right, calm down. It's okay.
I'll do another video with him.
All right, yeah, I'll have him sit here and he'll ask you the questions. He'll just pull out his notepad and tell you. But thank you again, okay? And tell Leela I say hi.
I will. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.